Hey guys, what's up? It's Mike again with Southeastern Shooters, where today we're going to be doing some work on the Mosin Nagant that you've seen in previous videos. Today we're going to be fitting it with an ATI fiberglass Monte Carlo stock, and I'm going to give you guys a little instructional video on how to do that. So here we go. Alright guys, first thing we're going to do is we're going to safety check the weapon. To do that, open the bolt, pull it back, inspect it, make sure there's no rounds in the chamber. Remove the bolt, pull the trigger back, slide the bolt assembly out, set it to the side. Remove your cleaning rod just by twisting it, pulling it out, setting it to the side. Now we got to get this old stock off. To do that, we got to remove these barrel bands. There's two leaf springs right here. To press the barrel band, slide the stock retainer forward. You might need to use a screwdriver to get it to break loose. Alright, now your top stock assembly should come off. Set it over here to the side. Flip the weapon over, let it sit on top on its sides. I apologize guys, my dog is goofing around in the background. Let me go take care of that real quick. Hey! Alright guys, sorry about that. Alright, like I said, we'll rotate the weapon up, let it rest on its sights. There's a retaining screw right here that holds the magazine well in place. You're going to remove that. Be sure to notice that the mag well screw is the shorter of the two. Do not get them confused. Flip the weapon back over. There's another retaining screw right here that holds the barrel assembly and fire control mechanism. Take it out. Set it to the side. Now getting the barrel bands off is kind of a pain in the ass because you got to knock the front sight post out of the dovetail before you can slide those off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera and we'll come back. Alright guys, so now we've removed our barrel bands. We can now lift the barrel and the trigger assembly and the mag well out of the stock. Now you can do that before or after you get the barrel bands out. It doesn't really matter. So we're just going to lift this bad boy up, gently let the trigger release, and set that assembly over here to the side. Flip it over. Mag well pops right out. That's your bare stock. Now what you might want to do while you've got this thing apart is if you fired it consistently with that old stock on there, this thing gets soaked in cosmoline. And a lot of times when you pull that barrel assembly out, the bottom of the barrel will be caked up and gummed up. So while you've got it apart, take the opportunity, go ahead, soak it up, scrub it down real good. Simple green and warm water works excellent. Take you an old toothbrush and just scrub it down. I've already done that, so we're going to move on to fit the new guys. I went ahead and test fitted the magazine assembly and the stock, or excuse me, the barrel assembly rather, to this new stock, and there are some fit issues. Now ATI says this thing is supposed to be a direct drop-in replacement. Let me go ahead and clarify. When it comes to firearms, there is no such thing as a direct drop-in replacement, especially when we're talking about these Mosins, because there are so many different variations of the firearm that nothing is going to fit absolutely perfectly. So what we're going to have to do is right here where the magazine flares, it's a little tight. So we're going to take some 220 grit sandpaper and Sand that out. And then up here, along the barrel channel, right here, we're a little tight there, so we're going to sand that out. Same principle applies. Sand it out, sand a little bit, test it, see if it fits. Sand it out a little bit, test it, see if it fits. You want to do that because you do not want to take too much out of this thing. If you get too much out, it's not going to fit correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. We'll be right back, guys. We've sanded our mag well out and our barrel channel fits nice now. Had to take about a 32nd of an inch out of here, just a tad more along the barrel channel. Now we're going to assemble this thing together. Take your mag well first, line your holes up, pop it in, flip it over, insert the barrel, line it up. Now there is a little washer that comes with this kit. Depending on your variation of the Mosin, you may need to use this washer right here underneath this rear tank screw on the barrel assembly to get it to line up correctly and float correctly on the stock. In this instance, I've already test fitted it. I'm not going to need it, so I'm going to set that aside. Flip the weapon, no, excuse me, I'm sorry. Go ahead, take your rear tank screw for your barrel assembly, insert it, torque it down. Now what you want on this finish is you don't want it to be so tight that you have to force the parts together, but you don't want it to be loose. Loose is bad. You want it to just be maybe just a hair on the tight side. If you're loose, you're going to have too much tolerance. The weapon is going to vibrate around while you're firing it. Potentially have failure to fire, failure to eject, and can cause all kinds of problems. So I'd rather have a slightly tight fit versus a loose fit. I'm going to torque that back down. Double check everything, make sure there's no wobble to it. Take our bolt, slide it in place. Press the trigger, bolt slides right in. Now, this Mosin has a feature a lot of people don't know about. There is a decocker on this weapon. I do not recommend you use it with live rounds, but how this decocker works to kind of save your spring tension here, there's two grooves right here in the receiver. Click it over into the first groove, pull the trigger, bolt slides down into its normal position. Alright guys, that is how you rig your Mosin up with an ATI fiberglass stock. I'm going to be going to the range later on today, putting some rounds down range with this new setup, and I'll get back to you with a review on this system and let you know how it works.